Hey, busy business people. I am here today with another entrepreneur taking action, Destini Copp. Destini built her own info empire that's given her freedom in her life, and I'm getting the scoop on how she did it, so stay tuned. Okay, so to kick things off, I want to hear a little bit more about this info empire that you've created that's given you so much freedom. What is it? What do you teach?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little bit more of a background. So I used to be a Facebook and Instagram ads consultant, and I was at vacation down in Watercolor, Florida. So if anybody's ever been there, it's like down near Seaside, 30A, that Destin, Florida. And I had a client who was unhappy with his Facebook and Instagram ads. And surprise, surprise, there you go. Somebody's unhappy with their Facebook ads. And he wanted stuff done right then. Stuff that I didn't, quite frankly, even agree with. I didn't think it was going to make the changes that he wanted to make in the ads, but he wanted it done right then. I couldn't enjoy vacation with my family. And I came back from that vacation saying, I have got to make changes in my business. And that's when I decided to really go full force into selling more, we'll call them passive income, but we're all marketers here and business owners. We know that nothing's really passive income in our business, but I really went full force in selling info type products, online courses, memberships, and also dipped my toes too in affiliate marketing. And that really made the change in my business. It gave me more freedom in my life. I didn't have to, stop what I was doing with everything I was doing to go help a client. And I just, I've loved it ever since. And now the majority of my income comes from these passive income digital products, online course, membership, and also affiliate marketing.
That's really awesome. So what are some of the topics that you're creating courses and stuff around?
So what I focus on and kind of, is based on my background and what I did for many, many years when I was a university college marketing professor teaching online, is when I, left I'll call it a corporate job, but it was, a university type role. Mm-hmm. When I left that role and moved into entrepreneurship, I was like, what do I do? What can I help people with? And I've been teaching online since 2005, which is way back in the dark ages in the grand scheme of things. And I was like, I really love online courses and I really love teaching. So what I have done in my business is taken all of my skills that I did in the corporate world and I'm helping others. So I'm helping others create online courses because I've created hundreds and hundreds of them, in my career. I'm helping others bring all of my kind of marketing background because I've been, have 25 plus years in marketing. And that's what I'm teaching them in my courses. So it might be templates, swipe files. It might be how to set up, sales funnels in your business, like an evergreen sales funnel. In terms of affiliate marketing, I'm talking about some of the products that I use in my own business, why I love them. And I'm also teaching others how to use those products. So that's a combination of teaching, the course, but also getting the affiliate revenue in addition to that.
That's really cool. Now, I know when we talk about info products, everybody always asks about technology. They're always like, how do you deliver a course? How do you deliver a membership? How do you deliver a download? Do you have any favorites that you use and recommend?
So, I just want to have a caveat and say that there's a lot of different systems on the marketplace. And what I have learned over the years, and because I've worked with a lot of different clients, is they all of them, quite frankly, work. Yeah. I've seen people be successful, and I'll just throw out some of the online course platforms out there. I've seen people be successful with Kajabi, Teachable, Think of It, Podia, Kartra. I mean, you name it. Any online course platform out there, you can be successful with it. So your success is not dependent upon the technology that you're using, but I do have some personal favorites. Of course, I think we all do. We all kind of gravitate to one. I love, for online course platforms, I love Kajabi. I also love Teachable. For like landing page type stuff, I've seen a lot of clients, even if their marketing wasn't great, I've seen a lot of people have success with like lead pages. Their landing pages are phenomenal. But, again, there's a lot of other systems out there that I know other people use and have seen success with it, like ClickFunnels. So the good news is there's tons of options for you. And if you don't consider yourself to be super techy, there's also a lot of people out there that are really kind of super cheap that will help you set up these systems.
Yep. I think that's been the biggest one for me. It's like I'll switch software if the person I'm hiring to help me implement it all is experienced in that software. Then I'm like, okay, we'll use that one. That's fine. And you can't go wrong with that because, like I said, really, truly, they all work, right? It's really your marketing and your offer and how you're positioning it and, how you present it to your customers. That's what's going to drive whether you're successful or not with it. Yep, I love that. And I totally agree. I mean, I know I've used, we're a HubSpot certified partner agency. So I've used HubSpot. I've used EngageBay, which is a relatively new one that's trying to compete with HubSpot, but it's pretty good at a low cost. I've used High Level. Active Campaign, ClickFunnels. I like High Level better than ClickFunnels just because it does all the same things ClickFunnels does plus more. So I liked it a little bit better. But yeah, there's always so many, and it really, people put so much money into software and then they have crap stuff going into it. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, I mean, it really just focus on kind of what your message is, how you're positioning your product, your transformation. What are you telling people about it? That's really what's important. If I was going to invest in anything, if I was, didn't have expertise in this area and I was really going to invest in something, I would invest in somebody to really help me with the copy, a really good kind of copywriter that can help you with the sales page, that can help you with your email copy, if you're doing like a sales sequence. That's one of the areas that I think is super important to invest in your business and in your products.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like one of my company's Content Ninjas. That's all we do. Like I have a staff of writers that focuses on using storytelling and lead conversion, best practices and stuff like that to write copy. And it makes a huge difference having somebody that knows what they're doing. I mean, I even use my team to write my copy, even though I'm good at it. Writing it for yourself, a lot of times it's so hard to get it right. And it's like, I would consider myself an expert at writing copy, but I can't do my own. So it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with your expertise. Sometimes you just need somebody from the outside to kind of look at it and refine it and get your messaging right that isn't as close to what you do.
I agree. I actually met with a copywriter this week and we went through a sales page and basically wrote it. We were both on the Zoom, but it's something that I do too. I get people to help me with my copy.
Yep. It makes a big difference. So I know on the subject of offers, because we kind of hit on that a little bit, like what do you think some of the best offers are to get someone kind of engaged and buying in this info realm?
So I think it really just depends on the offer, the product that you're selling. It's just a combination of a bunch of different things. What I generally like to do, if you're selling an info product, like an online course that is a little bit higher price, let's say it's, in the $500 range or higher, $1,000, even up to $2,000. I strongly recommend some type of webinar. I think those tend to convert well for the higher price type products. Now, if you're selling just a $27 info, type product, which I do all the time, you don't need a webinar for that. That might just be a simple sales page or a checkout page, or maybe you're just sending it to, your email list with a checkout page type offer. You don't need as much for something like that. So it really just depends on what you're selling, your audience, what your relationship is with your audience. If it's more of a colder audience or extremely warm, there's just a lot of things that go into that. But overall, for the majority of the higher priced info products out there, webinars tend to do very well.
Okay. I like that a lot. Now I know this is just something that a little soapbox I tend to stand on a lot, but like, what are your thoughts on having a personal brand like you've done with your own site at destinycopp.com versus like a professional brand, like a company name like Sparkative or whatever, for info products?
So I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do this. I will say that when you're a service provider, so you're doing, maybe you're helping people design websites, or you're like a brand agency or whatever. I feel like with service providers, people want to buy from a person, right? They want to see your face there. They want to know who they're buying from. When you kind of take the service aspect out of it and just make it, I don't want to say just make it a brand, but there's always people behind it, right? We all know that there's people behind it. It kind of depends on your long-term goals. I will tell you that I am launching other brands in my business, and I think this is a relevant discussion to what you're saying there. And for those other brands, I'm not making them a personal brand, but my goal's a little bit different with them. My goal is I might sell those one day, more kind of a website type flipper type thing. And with that goal in mind, I'm not going to put as much as my brand or my face, if you would, out there. So I really think it just depends on your long-term goals, and keep in mind goals change, right? Yep. So you got that too. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here, except I do think with service providers, people really want to purchase from somebody they just can see their face. They know who they are. They want to know who they're working with.
Yeah, it sounds like we're kind of taking a similar approach to it. It's like everything I do under my personal brand is stuff I plan on kind of staying involved with. It's my info stuff, like my Superpowers into Sales program and things like that. A lot of that's happening there. But I have 3 other businesses that I funnel people over to. So it's like I just use my expertise, my positioning. It's like, oh, by the way, here's Content Ninjas, here's Sparkative, or here's ETA. And funnel business that way. So that works really good for me. With those other 3 companies, I don't plan on being in the day-to-day for like eternity. I don't plan on being day-to-day.
Yeah, I think you and I are aligned there.
Yep. And it's like everything I do under my personal brand, though, I'll scale it up. So I'm not doing everything, but it's still going to be like, it doesn't work without my face on it. So I think that's a good conversation to have. I know that's one I've had a lot of people ask me, especially since I started the Superpowers into Sales thing, because it's all about using your personal brand, your personal expertise to drive sales. So I've had a lot more people ask about the difference between the two. So I thought it'd be good to pick your brain on that one, since I see, that you've done it. Okay. So another question, like, why do you think digital products are so valuable for a business owner to have versus like service-based or time for money products?
So I think going back to my example, I started my online business so I could have more freedom. I didn't have to be at my boss's beck and call. But when I started my service-based business, what I found was I actually had 20 bosses, right? Not just one boss. And I had a lot of people and a lot of deadlines kind of pulling at me. And I was like, this is not what I wanted. And I think having that extra income coming in from like these more passive income type digital products, it allows you, it doesn't mean you have to fire all of your service clients. You might enjoy doing that. But it does allow you to be more selective in who you work with, and only take on maybe 1 or 2 of those really, really valuable clients, but also keep your revenue, the extra revenue that you might need to pay your bills. So I think that's one of the benefits. Another benefit is once you get your sales engine working for these digital type products, you can scale them up as you want. You can boost once let's just say, once I have 100 people going through this funnel and, 10 of them buy whatever product you're selling is. If you wanted to have 200 people going through it, whatever means that you have to get them there, maybe you're doing some type of paid advertising, maybe you're doing some type of event where people, learn more about you. There's a lot of different ways that you can drive traffic into that funnel. So you can scale it as you want. So if you needed some type of income boost, maybe you wanted to pay off your house or whatever that case may be, you can say, okay, I know based on my previous data, if I get 1,000 people coming through this, I know X number of people are going to buy based on my history, and that means I'm going to make X amount. And depending on how you've set up your online course or your info products, that's a good boost with you doing very little because you've already set up this sales machine, if you would.
Yep, I love that. I know another question I hear a lot is, do you have any suggestions around price points for digital products?
So I think it really, again, you can be successful with a $2,000 product. You can be successful with a $7 product. It really just depends on your industry, your market, who you're selling to, your audience, and also how much time, energy, and effort you want to put into that product. So let's just say you're selling a $2,000 online course or program or however you're doing it. It might require, depending on your audience, it might require a little bit more hand holding to, kind of walk those folks through that. You might have to have like a 6-month group coaching program along with it. Whereas if you're selling like a $297 priced online course, and you might just answer questions in the classroom. It might be just as simple as that. If somebody posts a question, you'll just go answer it and you're done. And generally, that's how I handle a lot of my courses, and I don't get a ton of questions, right? They get a lot of their questions answered through the course content. I might get a question here and there. So I'm really not, it took me a lot of time to create the content, right? It took me a lot of time to build all the marketing systems related to it. But once I got it set up, it was pretty much hands off for me. Now I do go back in on occasion and update my course content. Things change in marketing, as we all know. So I need to make sure that the content's relevant and kept up to date, but it's not as intensive as client work is, or maybe a group coaching type session would be that you're having to do every single week.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I know we're kind of wrapping up our time here. What final tips or advice do you have for someone that's either just getting started with info products, or they've kind of maybe dipped their toe in the water and not really had the results they're looking for and maybe need to try it again?
Yeah, so what I always tell people, and I actually made this mistake when I first got started. So when I first got started, I tried to create this, because this is what I thought we were supposed to do. I created this huge, what I would call this signature type program. It took a long time for me to set up. I had, beta customers coming through it, and it was like a 6-month ordeal. I don't recommend that. What I recommend is to kind of dip your toes in it, is to create more of a mini course or a tripwire type product. This could be, depending on your market, it could be anywhere from like $17 or $7 all the way up to $49. But it's just really just a mini course where you can give your customers a quick win. It shouldn't include a lot of content in it, right? They're not wanting your whole signature type course. They're wanting something where they can, get a quick win, learn something quickly, get a really quick result. And there's a lot of things you can do with a mini course. You can sell it directly from your website with the sales page, right? It's a smaller type product, so you don't need this huge sales funnel to go along with it. You can sell it as a tripwire. So when somebody signs up for one of your lead magnets, on that thank you page, you can have this mini sales page that says, wait before you go, check this offer out. I think I have something that you would absolutely be interested in. So there's a lot of different ways you can package it. And it really just allows you to get used to creating info type products. It allows you to kind of dip your toes in it. It allows you to kind of figure out how to sell them, right? Because it's a little bit different to sell info products than it is to sell like services when you're on a phone with a client or a Zoom call type thing. So that's my recommended way to get started. And Christina, I don't know if you have any other suggestions there.
No, I think that was a lot of really good information. I mean, I know that's one of the biggest, pieces of advice I've heard over the years. It's like, start promoting it, or launch a splinter, or launch some early stage stuff. Don't go all in on building this big course. before you even know if somebody's even interested in it. Like, it's a scary thing to sell it before you build it, but you absolutely can. You know, people are interested in doing that. They'll sign up to be notified when it launches. They'll, you know, for a discounted price, come in on the beta group where they know it's rough around the edges and even help you build it because it's valuable. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get people kind of interested and onto it without putting all the work into building it initially. But that doesn't mean you get away from, you know, putting in the work. You're still going to have to do it. But I think that works for most entrepreneurs. We're the type of people that, what is it they say, jump out of a plane and build a parachute on the way down.
Yeah, there you go. I've done that many times.
Yep. Oh, I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now. That's what my superpowers into sales things is. It's like, I got the outline together. It doesn't mean you can go in completely blind and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to make it a 90-day thing, give it a name and go, let's buy it. No, like I had an outline for what we're going to create and I know why I'm going to create it, but I haven't built all the training yet and I haven't built all the like pieces yet, but I've already got people that I've sold it to. So it's like, okay, but they know they're getting a really good discount on it and they know it's a beta group and they know that we're building it as we go. But they're excited. So, I mean, it's just be flexible. I think the best advice I've ever gotten from one guy was, Cossum had said the most successful people are successful because they're not afraid to look like a fool.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Like once he told me that, I was like, you know, no, yeah, that's it, you know? And another girl I interviewed told me, she's like, whenever you've got something you've got to do that scares you, it's like, be scared, be afraid. That's okay. But then do it anyway. And I think like we have this, especially when it comes to info products, there's so much mindset in the way that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve that label, that it's somebody wouldn't pay $2,000 for this. So I'm going to sell it for $200. And it's like, no, you know, you just gotta, you know, be afraid and do it anyway.
That's some great advice.
I'm trying to
I echo it.
Yeah, I'm trying to embrace it. And it's like, once somebody told me that, I started hearing it everywhere. Like Tony Robbins and Dean Grazioso talk about the power of taking uncomfortable action. And it's like, so now every time I'm uncomfortable, I'm like, okay, do it anyway.
You know you're doing it right then.
Like, every time you hit that next uncomfortable milestone, just do it anyway. You know, and turn to people. Like you said, you always turn to people and, you know, get input on stuff. And I think, I don't know what it is, but we feel like we have to do everything. Like we feel like we have to, you know, learn how to do it all ourselves before we can hire someone else to do it. And it's like, why? If your intent is to hire someone else to do it, put the energy into learning how to hire the right person for the task. Don't, you know, because that is a skill to learn to hire the right person. That's energy well spent.
I agree. And outsourcing is something that I recommend and I do it all the time. Yep. It helps me just keep moving forward on everything in my own zone of genius.
Yeah. I think once you do it, there's kind of no going back. You start realizing that like everything you try and do on your own is just going to sit on your to-do list for 10 times longer than if you just find another human. At least that's been my experience. I say my personal to-do list is where tasks go to die. Oh man. Well, I just lost my train of thought. 100%. Thank you so much for coming on today to kind of wrap things up. Tell people like who you like to work with. How can they find you? What do you do?
So first of all, thank you so much for having me today. I loved our conversation. I could chat all day long about digital products and sales funnels. So there you go. But the best place to reach me is just my website. It's just my name spelled out, destinycopp.com. We have other brands like we talked about today, but my website, you'll find a lot of information. There's some free resources. So if you're interested in getting started in digital products or you just want to dip your toes in like what we talked about today, you can just go to my website and find me.
Awesome. Thank you. So this has been absolutely great. And yeah, I could talk for hours and hours and hours. So again, thank you so much for coming on though.
No, thanks for having me, Christina.
Right, so entrepreneurs, guys, this is your call to take action. Join our community at etatoday.zone and learn how to build a business that enables your lifestyle instead of taking over your life. Bye guys. Until next time.
Bye-bye.